Insolent peasants! Prepare to die. They dare not strike back to the death. I never hold back. Strike quickly, strike deftly.
Hey guys, welcome back. We are playing Fiora today, another S+ tier top laner. She is one of the meta picks right now, along with picks like Camille and Jax. It is a champion you want to pick up if you're looking for a late game scaling split pusher who can destroy most champions in a 1 vs 1. She is especially strong against tanks because she has true damage. Early game though is where she's pretty weak, and that is where they can abuse her in the top lane, so you want to watch out. Play to scale up. You can get solo kills though if you play it right. Make sure that you play around the vitals. And if the vitals end up in a bad spot, then you can just walk out of range and then walk back in again, and then it is going to reset. When using that Q, make sure that you actually hit something so you get that 50% reduction on the ability. That's very important, so you'll be able to spam that Q, really maneuver around and hit those vitals as well. It does work on wards and towers, so it allows you to take them down really fast. He got a couple of lucky crits and his ignite is also down. We are low HP though, so we can always recall and then teleport back into the lane, and then we should be fine. Your E is an auto attack reset, that's important to know. And in this matchup guys, your W is so important. You will never be able to stun him because he does not have any immobilizing effects, he only has the slows. But that doesn't matter because you want to hit him with the W because it is going to cripple him. So his attack speed will be lowered, and since pretty much all of his damage comes from auto attacking, then this is going to give you a pretty big advantage. So if you ever want to win this lane, then you have to make sure that you actually hit him with that W. You have to tag him with it, and then you can go for a trade. Also, the best time to trade is when his rage bar is low, and you can also bait out his lethal tempo. Bait out the active, and then once it's going on cooldown, then you can go in for a trade. Otherwise you might risk dying to his RNG crits. And there's a side coming, so we just had to back off here. As you can see, if you don't hit anything with a Q, then it's going to be on a pretty big cooldown. We can just walk straight down here because there's a fight going on in the river, so we're gonna ignore the entire wave. They got that under control though, and Galio's coming, so we can't really go there, so we just had to back off. Make sure that you play around those vitals, that is so important on this champion, that is where most of the damage is at, so really want to kite the enemy champions. This fight was a lot closer than it had to be, and that is because I did not get an auto attack off before using my Q. I think I might have cancelled that auto attack, so I actually almost ended up dying. But yeah, make sure that you re-win auto attacks, that's very important. And since they released that new Hullbreaker item, then Fiora is actually one of the fastest split pushers in the game. She can take down towers insanely fast because her Q works on the tower. She also has that auto attack reset on her E. And then you get that bonus damage from the Hullbreaker. So you have some insane split pushing potential once you get your items really get to scale up. We are getting sack, so that's great. And we also got the Silas, so that was a pretty good TP. It was a bit late though, I was not sure whether I had to TP right here or it would be a waste. I could probably have TP'd a bit early on and then maybe World would have been alive, I'm not sure. We don't know, but we're gonna go for the Strike Breaker here. You can use the Strike Breaker or the Gold Ringer, both are really good. The thing is with Strike Breaker though is that it's really OP this patch because it gives you such a massive slow. And there's like a 90% slow, I think it will be lower to 40% or something next patch. But with that slow, you have so much time to maneuver around the enemy champion, hit all of the vitals, especially when you have that ultimate up, so it gives you that much higher kill pressure and it also makes it super difficult for anyone to escape. But we have the whip right now, the active, so it helps a bit with the extra damage when you go for trades, but also for your wave clear because this champion has 0 wave clear. There's absolutely no wave clear, that's why you want items like the Ravenous Hydra. Also giving a lot of sustain, it also gives you some wave clear, so you can actually be in the side lane and push out waves. Do have the ultimate up now though, so this is an all-in ability. Only want to use it when you're fully committing to a fight. Just try to kite him around. Use that Q to gap close and also to keep the distance. Thing is this ultimate, you have the active, but the passive also makes it so you get more movement speed when you proc your vitals. You get more movement speed. So just become better and better at kiting as the game goes on. You also want to be really patient when using that W. If you misplay, keep in mind it has such a big cooldown that if you're in a bad matchup or a skill matchup like this one, it can screw you over pretty hard. Also against Tryndamere, when he's Eing on top of you, that's typically when they want to use that W, so make sure that you face in his direction. So you only lose the AD and not your movement speed as well. That's a pretty nice W, so I got the stun off on Tryndamere. But she is pretty hard to gank when she has a Q up. And her W as well. Of course your Q, you won't really be able to use that often when you're escaping because you don't have enemy minions behind you most of the time. So you can't really get that cooldown reduction to get that Q up again. We are playing for that 1 and 2 item power spike. Of course she gets super strong as you get each item, she scales towards the late game. But when you get like the Strike Breaker or the Gold Ringer and then the Ravenous Hydra, that's why you're gonna start carrying the game. That's why a lot of bad matchups suddenly become winnable for you if you play it right. That's why you can start impacting the game as Fiora. Now pushing towers, make sure that you rewind auto attacks, use that E as an auto attack reset, also make sure that you use your Q. These two abilities alongside your auto attacks is what makes Fiora insanely strong and fast at split pushing. And it's going to be really fun once we get the Hull Breaker. We're just gonna obliterate the towers. Can go ahead and recall now though, we have a lot of gold. Fortunately, we don't have quite enough gold for the entire mythic item yet, so we can just go for tier 2 boots. Most of the time though you want to go for the armor boots here, and That of course helps a lot in these AD matchups, especially against the Tryndamere, because most of his damage comes from auto attacks. So if you're struggling, or if you have enough gold, then you can always rush the boots before you finish the mythic item. Now this other component is actually also pretty nice, because now you also get some even more movement speed when attacking, so you're even better at kiting now.
I am an artist with a sword. In more ways than one, I never hold back.
We do not know where the top laner is. Have Kane waiting on the side. He's probably just wasting time though. That's nice. So he reset the vital himself because he walked out of range, so now it's in a good spot for us. Most top laners though do know about this trick, but if you're lucky, if they don't know about it, you can just constantly walk out of range to get that vital in a really good spot. That W is on a massive cooldown, so make sure that you only use it at the right time. Be careful of not wasting it. That's a pretty nice move right there. You can use an auto attack, then your E to reset it, and then you can Q out, and that Q, if you are still close to the enemy champion, then that Q is also going to hit. So that's like a quick spreading method on Fiora. We do see Zac coming topside. He was just mid right now. Oh, he should probably be coming topside right now, so also need to watch out. We see him on the map. Unfortunate that Q did not hit right there. If you don't have your W up, then it's very easy to gank you, because most junglers have some kind of hard CC they use, so it's very crucial that you actually have this ability up, so do not waste it in the lane unless you can get something out of it. That was an insane amount of CC actually, that was pretty insane. And there's a flash ignite coming from the Tryndamere. I could have used my W early on, because I think I got chain CC'd, so I was not able to use it in the middle of the fight. I could have used it at the start though. Need to watch out, Silas's W is up, so you can easily get a kill here. He's not respecting Silas's heal, especially when he's low HP, but we have 4 people top right now. I'm also teleporting. It's a bit waste though, but I want to push topside, that's why I teleported. I could also have TP bot side, because there's a big wave crashing in here, but now I can get the tower. Make sure to use that Q and the E on the tower, push as fast as possible. And we got the first tower, so this was pretty worth it. And this is also where the mid game starts. When the first tower is down, and you just AFK in the side lane, you can use your teleport to help out your team, but you want to be in the side lane at all times. Because you're strong in a 1 versus 1, you're also strong in those 1 versus 2, so you want to pressure the enemy. Make people come to your lane. Even if you don't get a kill, you can waste a lot of their time. Right now we have 3 people on us. Make sure to hit as many vitals as possible. Nice, and we did not have to flash right there, of course. We don't have Triumph, so these fights are more riskier. You can go for Triumph if you want to, but I like to use Presence of Mind on Fiora because otherwise she will have mana issues. You have pretty low cooldown abilities on your Q and your E, so you're gonna be spamming them in a fight, so you want to make sure that you have the mana regen to do so.
An ally has been slain.
So we got the tier match, so now we have some decent wave clear. Very important in order for you to actually push out the waves fast, and then you can use that extra time to pressure, get some damage onto the towers. Make sure that you are on the opposite side of where the main objective is. So right now the dragon is about to spawn, so I want to be topside. So if for example there are 2 or 3 people chasing me right now, then they will not be able to make it to the dragon in time. So you get to waste their time and also secure the objectives for your team. My team is doing good right now, so we can just AFK topside. Get all of the farm, just keep pushing. Also take away the jungle camps. As you can see, his attack speed is almost non-existent. And we got his ultimate out as well, so that's a big trait for us. That W is so useful in this matchup. If you didn't have that W, then this matchup is impossible to win.
An ally has been slain.
That's a really good fight. I could have turned it around sooner, but I was not sure how many people were coming. I saw the Galio, of course the Silas, but I was not sure if there were others, otherwise I could have turned around earlier. But we got a double, so that's perfect. But almost no champion will be able to escape from you with that Stridebreaker. That slow is so insane. It's going to be good even if they nerf it next patch. You also get some extra mobility from it, but you always have the option to go for Goredringer as well if you prefer more sustain. So we got the 2 main items and now we can build whatever we need to. Hullbreaker is of course the OP new item. Gonna allow you to split push a lot faster, and they also buff up your minions so they can tank a lot more damage. Wow, that's pretty close, dying to that. Misfortune ultimate, but we do have the Red Cane here, and of course he's extremely tanky. Very hard to take down. All of that sustain and his ultimate as well. But the fight in the middle lane is gonna give us some extra time, so we can use that to push. Tower is already going down insanely fast, and we don't even have the Hullbreaker yet, so just wait until we have that item. We're gonna absolutely shred the towers. I had to queue out here because the Galio was coming. Not expect his ultimate, and he also used that exhaust, so we had to flash out. Now our W is back up though, so we can go for another fight. Attack that Tryndamere with the W, and he did not use his ultimate in time, so he's also going down. We're just gonna kite around the fight, guys. That's what you want to do on Fiora. She is not strong in team fights, she's mainly a split pusher, but she can still do well. Because that ultimate zone is going to heal people. You do provide some sustain if you can proc that ultimate.
Others try. I succeed.
Baron is pretty free, so we can go for that. Help out the team. And then we can head to the bottom side because we already got everything on the top side. We got both towers, so now we can just go bot. The outer tower is still up, so just want a bit more gold so we can get the hull breaker. And then it starts becoming really fun. And we got the new items, so now the fun begins. Just watch the damage we are dealing to towers, and of course our minions are also a lot more tankier, so even if somebody is here to defend, then it is going to take a while for them to clear them out. For some reason there's a team fight in the bottom side. It just let me split push, but we got there a team, so that also turned out to be pretty good. We also get the objective for free.
Talent, honor.
Of course you don't want to be grouped when you have this hull breaker, because otherwise you do not get the effects of it. So the cool thing is that if you ping that item, then it's going to tell your team to stay away pretty much. Just commit right now and push. You pretty much only want to team fight if there's a really good fight you can take, otherwise you just want to stay in the side lane. Because that is why Fiora is best. She is not the best at team fighting. Pretty easy to kite her around when people start grouping. So just spend most of your time in the side lane, and then if a good fight starts, then you can use that teleport to flank and get behind and get to the carries. That was a pretty perfect W actually, so I think I would have died if I did not get that W out. I would just get chain CC'd again, and Misfortune also lost everything, so she also went down. So it's actually pretty much GG's, and they did end up FFing, so that was the video. I hope this was helpful. As always, see you guys in the next one.